Hi, I'm Victoria Bond, and welcome to Mum's Time to Shine, how to connect to your soul's purpose and pursue it without sacrificing quality time and connection with your family. Today we have Lauren Robertson joining us. Hi Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi Victoria, thank you for the invitation. I'm really excited to be here.
This is awesome. Lauren is a Hay House author of the best-selling book, The Medium in Manilows, a life-affirming guide to modern mediumship, which helps readers to overcome the fear of death in all forms and brings spirit communication into the 21st century for millennial spiritual seekers. And you are also an entrepreneur and a speaker. You do quite a lot of speaking. Yeah. So
yes, absolutely.
What I love, the reason why I read that out about your book is when you're saying you help us to overcome fear of death. And that is such a huge part of all of the conditioning that we've had when we've kind of been growing up. Someone dies and we mourn, and which is a natural human thing, but what you do is you're kind of like bridging that gap between loved ones that have passed and the ones that are left behind. So can you tell us a little bit about how you came about this? Because you are a modern medium and you have a beautiful book over here, which is a guide to all of us to be able to connect. And I love it. So I want to know, and I want everybody else to know a little bit about you and how this happened to you.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for the kind compliment, Victoria. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the book. So my journey as a medium really began with empathy. I've always loved people, and I'm the sort of person that if I see a sad video on Facebook, I cry like it's happening to me. If I see a happy video on Facebook, I cry like it's happening to me. If I see a cute dog on Facebook, I cry like, thinking as if it's my dog. So anyway, that I've always been that way. I've always been very empathic with other people's emotions and feelings, and that really started in childhood. When I was 13 years old, my mum bought me a deck of angel cards, and I immediately just took to them and really found like a natural rhythm with them. So angel cards, for those of you that don't know, are like cards that have depictions of angels on them. You can use them to divine information about your life and about other people's lives. So I would take my angel cards into school and I would do readings for my headmaster, my maths teacher, like the school football team would come and like want a reading. So I got a lot of practice between the age of 13 and 16 doing these angel readings. And then at 16, I took a little bit of a nosedive, to be honest, between the age of 15 and 16. I was suffering a bit with like depression and teenage angst. I was having a lot of difficulties like finding belonging. I had a lot of loneliness and felt quite isolated. And so I began to withdraw from school. And eventually this led to me being asked to leave school because of non-attendance. So the day that I got kicked out of school, I was sitting on the bus to go home and I thought, oh my God, my mum is going to be so angry. So on the way home, I was like, right, I'm going to find a job, because at least if I have a job, I can like give her the bad news. But then I'm like, yeah, but I got a job, so it's all fine. So I went home and I went on this website called the Job Centre that we have here in the UK. And it's like a government-run organisation to try to get people in employment and keep them in employment. And it's for normal people. So I sat down at the computer. I was like, okay, this was circa 2003, by the way, so it was like dial-up internet and 20p a minute and all that kind of thing. So I filled in this form and it was like, are you creative? Yes. Do you like people? Yes, I do. I like people a lot. What hours of the day do you want to work? I was like, I don't want to work mornings. And I was just like, oh, there's absolutely no job that is going to be suitable for me, that I'm going to be able to do. I felt totally defeated. And I just remember sitting there and praying and saying, please, God, Spirit, if you're listening, I just want to do these readings for people. Please help me to be able to do this. And I literally clicked submit, and the Job Centre suggested one job. and it was angel card readers, psychics, and mediums wanted in the Glasgow area. I
Yeah.
literally could not believe it. So at 16 years old, I applied for this job. I literally put my little school bag on. I went for the interview. I had to do a reading for the boss of the company, and she hired me on the spot. And so my journey really started out with angel cards, and I worked with that company for 8 years. And gradually throughout that period, the angel cards fell to the wayside, and I just started working with people just on a soul level, just intuitively, just feeling them out and relaying to them what I could sense about them. And then gradually and progressively, it became more and more about their pain, their emotions, the people that they loved, the relationships that they were in. And that's when it started to be more people and spirit that started to come through, which culminated in a really dramatic story, which you've probably read in the book, about a lady who came to me for a reading, and her dad came through to me so strongly with his name, how he died, what she needed, and the whole experience completely changed my life and changed her life as well. And that was really the moment where the floodgates opened to communication, specifically with people in spirit. And that was when I really started to focus on that being my niche, that being where I felt I could do the most good, that being where I felt I could have really meaningful conversations with people that would help them. And that's how my mediumship journey began. So started working as an intuitive practitioner at 16.
Wow.
And so I'm 31 now, so 16 years later, and 30,000 readings later, speaking on platforms all over the world, connecting with people's loved ones in spirit. It has been a really wonderful ride so far.
How does it get any better than that? Like actually going into a job centre and getting, and I mean, seriously, that is law of attraction right there and there, isn't it? You actually asked, and anything is actually possible. And the way I found you, so I've been following you for a couple of years now, is because I had my own experience with a girl coming through to me and having to pass on a message to her mother. And I had no idea who to turn to or what to do. I thought this was just for kind of like crazy kind of, people, like, not calling spiritual people crazy, but people who, like there's a name like not the norm, like a little bit, oh, that person's a bit witchy. But when I found you and I became one of your students, I was like, oh my God, this is so normal. And, Lauren is normal, and she's making this normal, and she's teaching how this is part of all of our lives, and it can be normal. And it's how far you want to go with it. So a lot of what you teach, because I know you are a coach of basically a whole lot. You're not just for mediums, your empowerment and all that type of stuff. A lot of what you teach is self-belief and empowerment, and I found that super beneficial. And I know in your book you have lots of different activations so people can go as far as they want and be coached by you, and it's like a guidebook that you can open up and just, it's brilliant. So that leads me to the question, can anyone do it? Because I know a lot of my friends go, oh, I couldn't do that, and I'm like, you probably could.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I liken it to playing the piano, right? So the word normal is exactly right, Victoria. Like, I wanted to normalize what actually is a ubiquitous experience. Like, a lot of people are having mediumship experiences, just not a lot of people know how to talk about it or aren't comfortable with how that's positioned, and so don't want to identify themselves with it, but it's happening a lot out there. And so I did want to make it normal. I did want to give people, the opportunity to explore whether they are able to do it, just like if you were, wanted to learn to play the piano. I mean, definitely some people are born with seemingly like a God-given gift, like just a natural gift for being able to put fingers to keys and just make them sing, basically. But that doesn't mean that a person who at 40 years old or 50 years old who's like, do you know what, I always wanted to play the piano, doesn't mean that they can play the piano to a good standard, get a good tune out of it, and play music that pleases people and makes people happy, and that they get something from it as well. And I think it's the same with mediumship. Like in the past, there's been this sort of thought of like you're either a medium or you're not, and like I'm not really sure how that started, but to me, like I feel like in the past, maybe some like spiritual practitioners, like not talking about anyone in particular, but have wanted to maybe seem special or to keep that as something for themselves. That combined with the fact that other people would want to disassociate themselves from it has set up this kind of either or mentality, which to me is completely false. It's like on a spectrum, the same way that there is a spectrum of quality and finesse and natural talent with playing the piano, but anybody who's willing to put fingers to keys every day for a period of time with joy in their heart and the desire to do so and a vision for what they're working towards is going to be able to accomplish something that they're happy with. And I think it's likewise with mediumship. You know, there is a chapter in the book where I talk about all of the different factors that you need to have, all of the ingredients to become a great medium, and that none of them are some woo-woo magical power that some people have and you don't. All of them just are the same qualities that you need to be a great pianist, which is like the desire to learn, commitment, joy in your heart about what you're doing, the desire to improve and get better. And like you said, belief in yourself and confidence in yourself. And that is an absolutely huge part. Confidence is both the outcome and the journey. In my book, The Medium and Manolos, confidence is how you get there. And it's also the destination that we want to get you to, because spoiler alert, the very last line of the book is what you do in life, you become in your mediumship. And so if you're a confident medium, you become confident as a human being. If you know how to become confident as a human being, you've already accessed the method and the tools that you then need to become confident as a medium. So yeah, that's my sort of take on that situation.
And yeah, I love that because for myself, you know, I had a conversation with my mother yesterday. As I told you already, my week all sorts has been happening to me intuitively, and I believe that's because I'm on the right path. And anyway, so I said to my mum, I go, I'm just letting you know that Spirit's been coming through and I've been giving people messages. Just straight up. And I was brought up Catholic, and I love the Catholic Church. I think it's beautiful and sacred, and you know, it's nice to go in there and pray. But the fear that being able to talk to Spirit is going to basically, like, the fear around it, like the first thing my mum said was, be careful, it's dangerous. And I said to her, I understand what you're saying, but both of your grandmothers were psychic. They were psychic, but they was very, very hush hush. And I know they were psychic because I grew up with those stories, and it was very kind of, we just don't say anything. And I said, Mum, do you have any intuitive abilities? Like, what do you do? Kind of thing. She goes, no. But I noticed that she always has a radio on, the TV going, and I like noise. And I go, I wonder what would happen if you cut out all the noise. So yeah, can you clear up a little bit of stuff about the fear and the protection? Because I know a lot of people, the minute you say medium or spirit, they go, a lot of my clients as a hairdresser, they would go, oh, all that stuff freaks me out. And I'd be like, why? So should we be scared?
That's a great question, and there's a few different approaches to it. Like, personally, as you said earlier, Victoria, I've always had this, and it's grown gradually. And you know, I've always come at my approach to working with others from a place deeply of love, and the experience that I've always had in sharing these types of conversations about people's loved ones that have died have always had a loving outcome. That's just always been true for me. I wasn't brought up with any religion whatsoever. I was brought up in a completely just religion-free household. It was never spoken about, never talked about. It just wasn't a thing. There was no thought about it either way. And so anything that might have put ideologies into my head from an early age about why I should be afraid of this. That just was an absent thing for me. So I think a lot of it can be to do with like our early life experiences, also the fear of the unknown, and obviously it is something that if people haven't investigated kind of like the science or the philosophy behind how mediumship could be possible, which I wrote about in the book to hopefully try to demystify and de-fear the experience of spirit. If you don't know that and it's unknown, then of course it's going to seem like spooks in the shadows and like all the horror movies that we've seen and different things. So there's a lot of information that your brain's absorbing that it would be trying to help you get a handle on this. And they tend to be more fearful interpretations of what's going on here. But what I want to share is this. There's no, again, the fear and love piece is on a spectrum, right? So there's no right or wrong answer here. And I feel like my experience has been that people in spirit are just like people. And the nicest person that you know has probably done some things they're not proud of. And the worst person you can think of was once an innocent baby who needed love and to be cared for. And so there's shadows and light in all of us. And as a medium, when you come to develop these abilities, it's your responsibility as the medium to be in such a mindset that you are willing and able to see the light side of people. And if you are, then it's the light side of people in spirit that you will experience. Very much our process of doing mediumship or like bringing messages forward from spirit, it's a collaboration between your mind and the mind of spirit. And if your mind is in a fearful place, an anxious place, an angry place, if there's anything there that's dark, that's like where you're coming from, then that is likely what you are going to have mirrored back from spirit. And so that's why the Medium in Manolos is a coaching manual for mediums, because we must take radical responsibility for our own mindset to be the best, most loving and healing mediums that we can be. And so if anybody has ever had an experience with spirit that's been frightening or worrying or anything like that, I always ask them to look at their own mindset first and what was true for them about their life and their life choices and in their experience, and like what was going on in their head at the time, because spirit is all things, it's all that is, and what is extracted from that is whatever we believe or wherever our own mindset is at. So if you can tune yourself to love and you take that as quite a radical part of your mediumship journey, then you will be astonished at the depth of love that can come through your messages from spirit. But likewise, I assume, but it's never happened to me, if you are attuned to some sort of fear or darkness or dread or drama or anything like that, then that is likely to be the reflection that you get from spirit too, because we each have all of that in us.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That's amazing. And what I actually said to my mum was, everything I do is from my heart. So when I've been in depression, like a few years ago, I went through a massive it was like a depression / spiritual awakening. It was just a crazy time. What happened is, it's like my heart was closed, kind of thing. And now if spirit comes through to me, I feel my heart open. I feel love, immense love. And what had happened when this first started happening to me was the empathy. I know a lot of people find it hard to be around other people. And I certainly was one of them, because if someone had lost their child, I could feel their pain. And then I would think about it for 2 days straight. And I think when it comes to that type of stuff, when we, like you were just saying, working on ourselves to make sure we are confident and happy and healed and kind of stuff before you, and that's what I love about your book and also your coaching. Your one-on-one coaching is phenomenal, because you don't just go straight to going, okay, I want you to sit there and tap into the spirit next to you. You're actually saying, okay, now I want you to feel this or be this or practice that. And all of a sudden, it's like it goes stack, 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 stack. And after doing training with you and reading your book, you go, oh my gosh, it's that easy. But it does come down to you and having that having that peace, really. You don't want to be all flighty and confused and all crazy and then trying to do mediumship. You want to be grounded and secure and all that type of stuff as well. So that's what I was really drawn to you about as well. One thing I noticed with my friends is, and my clients and all that kind of stuff, if I talk about spirit and stuff and they freak out, I say to them, look, what signs do you get? And a lot of people, I don't know if they're not listening or if they're clicking off, but there's like signs constantly. Are we always getting signs and we're just not noticing them? Or have we just not been taught how to notice them? If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I can't speak from anybody else's experience. I'm not in anybody else's head or, see the world how they see them. So I have respect for all different points of view. And, some people do seem to go through life either with like just no interest, no inclination, no awareness of the patterns of, like you say, like symbolism or the patterns of meaning that seem to appear in my life that are so extraordinary that if I was to relay the story to somebody, they'd be like, oh my God, like like even the piece about, like me reading the angel cards and then going on the job centre and the job centre suggesting that one job to me. I mean, the odds of that are so phenomenal that people cry when they're like, oh my God, did that really happen? I'm like, I swear that happened. You can ask my ex-boss, it happened. Like those types of like signpost synchronicities that have always given me the sense that there's a higher power directing my life, and where I'm both like an agent and like a performer of this higher purpose and this higher power. And these little signs in my life have always made me feel that way, that I'm guided, that I'm loved, that I'm looked after. And the sense that I've always had is that when my loved ones have died and gone to spirit, they have become part of that guiding force that has given me those signs. And I'll give you an example. When my gran died, I was 17 when she passed away, and she opens the book for me. I talk about it in the very first chapter. And when she died, I was absolutely devastated because she and I were so close and I absolutely adored her. She really represented unconditional love to me. And my grandfather, who was still living at the time, her husband, I went to visit him shortly after she passed away. And this little red admiral butterfly flew into the living room, and it was like very, very early in the season to even be seeing butterflies. And my gran used to love butterflies. And even my grandfather, who is like a war veteran who worked in a carpet factory, said to me, I think that's a wee sign from your gran. And so even like he started to open up to that possibility that there's a greater purpose and a higher power. So I think that for those of us that type of perspective on the world is meant for, we all get there eventually with perceiving those sorts of signs. But again, I'm not going to try to say that anybody else's life choices where they don't get signs like that is wrong. But definitely it has played a huge and important part in my life, and like I said, my sense of being loved and supported and that I'm important to the world and in the universe. It's been a very significant thing for me. Definitely there are things that people can do to like encourage more signs to happen in their life, and one of them is simply gratitude. So even if you're not sure if something is a sign, so like for example, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a wood pigeon been cooing outside my window for ages right now, and I have the choice to be like, shut up, or to say, thank you, I see that, thank you, I take the sign, and to just start to open the mind to the possibility through gratitude and thanks that everything is a sign and that everything has meaning. And slowly but surely, if you do that, it's almost like you train the mind to then spot when the genuine sort of sign does come, something that is so compelling and you know it's from somebody who's passed, or you know it's a sign from God or the universe that you're on the right path, that you get the goosebumps and you feel it. It's very much a very visceral, emotional thing. You just feel it within yourself. And if you get an experience like that, if you get a feeling like that, I would pay attention to it, pay attention to how it felt, because wherever you put your attention, it makes more of that happen. So if you put your attention to how you felt when you got a sign, you will encourage more signs into your world that way. Again, at least that's been my experience.
And yeah, that's really interesting, because feathers, well, white feathers is one of my signs, and so if a spirit's trying to get my attention, or if I ask if I'm on the right track, there's little white feathers everywhere. Yesterday I woke up and there's a white feather in my hair. Like,
wow.
I was like, it probably came out of my duvet, but it doesn't matter. I actually, because now I talk out loud a lot. That's happened as well. And I look in the mirror and I went, oh my God, there's this white feather in my hair. Or I'll go to the gym and I'll say, can I please have a sign today, just to make sure I'm on the right track? I'm giving up my job, like, help me out here. And I'm like, oh, there's a white feather in the gym. Like, really?
Yeah.
I'll feel like a kind of goosebumpy, kind of cool breeze on my face. And I think it's figuring out, like you said, what it is for you. And if you live in gratitude, more and more and more and more of it kind of seems to come. That's amazing.
Yeah, and also what I love about what you just shared, Victoria, is it's almost like a form of mindfulness, because when you get a sign like that, it's like bringing you back to a good place. It's bringing you back to an elevated place. It's bringing you back to a place of feeling supported and loved and cared for. So it's almost like the universe is helping us to have those little like mindful moments, or those mindful punctuations in our day that can like bring you back to sanity, bring you back, to like a really good emotional place. So I think the value in it is not just the spooky aspect, or even like the guidance or the signposting aspect, but it's just that mindful action of wherever you're at, if your thinking's like catastrophic or escalating, or you're feeling really stressed out, if you find that white feather, or you see that butterfly, or you get whatever that sign is that means something to you, it automatically puts you back into like a different mindset, a mindset of feeling loved and supported. And I think that can only be a good thing, whatever it means or wherever it's coming through from, if it's having that effect on you, it can only be a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's amazing. So I wanted to ask you, because I know we're running out of time dramatically, what was the decision behind you? I know you said like 30,000 odd like one-on-one readings. That's incredible. You've kind of stepped away from that a little bit, and you do a lot of speaking now. So was this like, what happened? Was this a gradual process? Tell us about what's happening with you.
Sure, I'll be happy to. So yeah, I used to do a lot of one-to-one mediumship readings, my angel readings. That was my main source of income. It's how I put myself through uni. As I say, it was my profession since I was 16 years old. But you get to a point where you've read for certain people so many times that there's like nothing more you can give them in that capacity. And I really wanted to give more and to do more. And right around that time, I was starting to just feel this sense that Spirit wanted my purpose to shift or to move a little bit. And so the key change that I made was, I had spent up till that point my time telling people what to do, like telling people what I saw, telling people who was there, telling people what to do. And I suddenly felt the urge to sort of move into no longer telling people what to do, but asking them what they wanted and who they wanted to be, and not having them lean on me as having all the answers to their life, but instead using me as like an intuitive facilitator to come to their own answers and their own conclusions. For me, because I really want people to live the fullest, happiest lives possible that they can. And I don't know about you, but I never listen to anything that anyone like tells me to do. But if somebody asks me like a triggering, empowering, opening question, and I come up with something, and then that like whoever the other person is like, that's a great idea, that's when I will want to take action. So I wanted to help people actually achieve the wonderful futures and results that I had seen for them. And so that's when I retrained as a coach. So I still use my intuitive abilities in terms of the kinds of questions that I ask and, how I approach my coaching. But I really wanted to retrain in facilitating the transformational process for people. That felt like a very natural next step. And my work as a medium has always involved speaking. So from day one, the first shift that I had when I was 16 years old, I spoke about angels to an audience of 100 people. So speaking about mediumship and spirit and philosophy and, you know, laterally business, because I've been self-employed for so long, and now I help people with speaking as well. It's always been a huge part of my life. So one of the ways that I felt this transformation evolving further was that I realised that I was a woman in the world with an alternative voice who was standing up and saying something quite proudly that other people were having a hard time owning about themselves. And so I realised that there was something of value there. And I really do want to make a difference in this world while I'm here to be able to do so. And so I felt my journey sort of evolving to wanting to support other women who also have like alternative viewpoints or an interesting story or something deeply of value to offer the world, to be able to find their voice, find their mission, their purpose, and to become sort of financially empowered and financially free by sharing those stories and giving those teachings and being out there on stages in the world, spreading ideas that are going to help take the world in a positive, more compassionate direction, where women are the caretakers of more confidence and more money as well. Like, that's a really important thing that I'm kind of going after right now. And so everything that I've done as a medium up to this point has helped me with that, from the speaking to working with so many different kinds of people, working with predominantly women, you know, my experiences as an entrepreneur from being self-employed since I was 16. And so now I want to pass some of those lessons on to other women as well. So Speaker Superstar, which is a program for women who have a message and a voice and who want to create wealth through sharing that message, is what I offer in the world predominantly at the moment.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love how you're not just like, I'm a medium, come here and learn how to do medium. It's about, like you say, transformational coaching. It's about how you want to show up. Like, you know, this person might not want to be a medium. This person who comes to you might just want to be an empowered entrepreneur, and you're going to teach intuitiveness and teach how they can reach those different, I know you teach a lot of things, yeah, I love it. And when I first found you, I was blown away at your age. Not that I didn't judge you on your age, but I thought, how has she got through this without the judgment and the backlash, especially being a medium at such a young age? Because a lot of people see mediums as older, wiser people. So my first thing was like, wow, what a powerhouse of a chick. Like, you have to be confident to step up and say, I'm a medium. It took me a lot of courage to say to my mum, I think I'm a medium, you know, and that was yesterday. And I'm 34 now, and with a lot of your teaching, you would say what you are, see the end result. And I've followed a lot of your teachings and coaching and gone, oh my God, she was right. Because you're going to get there if you follow your steps. And what I love about this book, because your book wasn't out when I first started being coached by you, was the book is a guide. You know, you can go back to it over and over and over again. And I thank you for writing the book from everybody that's going to read it, because I think it's incredible. And I'm looking forward to getting so many more books from you, because I know this is just the beginning of your we don't have time to talk about it, but I love the story, and I'm sure it's in the book as well, about how I've read some of your reviews, but how you came across the Hay House books and how that book came about is an incredible story, which we don't have time for, unfortunately. But you had a gift for our viewers today, so I'm really excited about this. Could you please enlighten us what you are gifting the audience?
Sure, I'll be happy to. And yeah, that is a funny story. I'll tell it another time. But so what I would love to gift to you is a Speaker Superstar meditation. So this meditation has been specifically created for entrepreneurs, coaches, creatives who want to find their voice, tell their story, and make money through speaking. However, if you're a medium and you're looking to clarify your communication and your mediumship, if you are someone who is looking to have clearer communication in your relationships, If you are looking to be able to just express yourself more clearly, this meditation is also going to help you with that too. So it's effortless, it's easy. You only have to listen to it at bedtime for 14 nights in a row, and you're going to notice a difference. So I would be delighted to give this to you for free. Usually it's a component of my Speaker Superstar program that my students pay quite a lot of money for, but it is yours for free. So I think Victoria is going to provide you all with the link where you can get that. And, you know, I would love to also see you in my community. And please do come and let me know how you get on with the meditation. I'd be really, really happy to connect with you.
Thank you. I am super excited for that meditation. I will be listening to that. Is it okay if we go to sleep while we're listening to it? Because I love to get a meditation that, or do we have to kind of sit up and really take it in?
No, please sleep. It's preferable. Let it marinate, let it go subconscious. You know, don't let the thinking brain get in the way. Let it go subconscious. Yeah, definitely sleep. Listen to it and fall asleep. Especially if you enjoy a Scottish accent and that puts you to sleep, you're going to love this.
Yeah, I do like that. I love it. And I'm so attuned to your voice from listening to many coaching sessions. So I love it. And also, where can we find you? Because I know a lot of our audience, whether they're beginning or whether they are actually already mediums, can benefit from you. So where can we find you and follow you?
Sure. So I hang out on Facebook mostly. You can find me at facebook.com/writer Lauren. That is my personal profile, and I don't have 5,000 friends yet. So request me and you will be accepted. You can also find me if you're interested in speaking at my Become a Speaker Superstar Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are interested in the mediumship aspect of things, you can search for Lauren Robertson, author, medium and coach on Facebook. But I should say, you know, that's the period of my life in business now that the Medium in Manolos is written and it's out there and I've said my piece about it. Mm-hmm. There aren't as many services and ways for us to work together in terms of mediumship at the moment. So if you're looking to do some work together or to connect more in that respect, it would be more along the speaker, entrepreneur, coaching lines of things. But do get the Medium in Manolos. The audiobook comes out on the 19th of June, yes. Which I just finished recording. So yes, if you enjoy the old Scottish accent on the meditation, then you're going to be able to listen to the Medium in Manolos as well. You'll be able to get it from Amazon.
Oh, awesome. I'm downloading that too. Awesome. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. And you guys, you can find the free gift on this page, and we have more information on the speakers page about Lauren. And yeah, get the book, listen to the meditation, and see what you can learn and become. It's very exciting. So we're looking forward to seeing more from you, Lauren. You are definitely one to watch. I've been, like I said, been watching you for a couple of years, and it's just up and away. And it's been a pleasure to watch. So thank you so much. Enjoy your day over there. And you guys make sure you tune in for tomorrow for the next interview. And yeah, everyone have a great day.
Thanks so much for having me, Victoria, and thanks for tuning in, everyone. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, Lauren. Bye.